Bitch. How? Prostitute me talk. I'm kidding, I love you, but you and I need to talk. We should talk. I'm gonna turn on the air conditioning now. Well, actually, no, it might be cold. I think it's fine. So, I am soaking wet head to toe, just jumped out of the shower lane. Climbed into my bed to have this conversation with you. I didn't even brush my teeth today yet because it's early in the morning. As you could tell. I think you just heard my dad fart. It's early in the morning. The walls are thin in all the rooms out there, so. And there's mosquitoes in here. Go back to Congo with the Ebola outbreak, Mr. Mosquito. Actually don't, but like, that's terrible. Nobody's gonna like meat babies. So yeah. Do exactly that. Okay, I'm not kidding. Like, just onto my bed. Actually, why do my eyebrows look good though? The AI photos of me that you guys keep seeing, they really shape my eyebrows pretty nicely a lot of the time. And it's been looking good on the real me, and so I kind of appreciate that. I know there's some that are like not that good of like AI photos of me, but like those ones are like not really getting in the way. Like the good ones are working on the real self, which is like kind of ideal, right? Okay, wait, I don't want to like flash you. The way I'm sitting is like the plan. Kind of weird. Yeah, so every inch of me soaking wet. Literally did not even try to dry my hair yet or wring it out again. I have to burp too. Okay. Off to a great start. So I was gonna say, and you're gonna be like, why did you jump from the shower, ran out of the shower, turned the water off so fast, ran out of the shower, when the water was so hot? Never in my life. That's why the water bill's so high. Never in my life have I not used all of the hot water in a shower. There's not like a 5-minute shower. Like, I cannot. Okay. Could not ever. Like when I would go to friends' houses, even in school, it would be like 50-minute shower. Like, I could not ever. Anyway. Oh yeah, I guess that sounds weird. I would only go to friends' houses if I was like spending the night there. Like, I would just only, you know. So, not for a weird reason, because I was like obviously young, but like underage, you don't even say like, not like that. That, at least that's not what I'm talking about at all, and that didn't happen. So I'm not trying to say other people are weird for that. That just isn't like true, so whatever. So, but also not that it matters. So I was in the shower, and it was a fast shower, and I'll tell you why it was a fast shower. I turn on the water, hop in the shower really quick, shampoo my hair. I look over it. My dad's into like soap making, so there's like DIY soap and stuff. There's like a bunch of different kinds. So those are in the shower, but they're not like wrapped up in the packaging. They're just like on the walls because there's like soap everywhere, because that's what happens when soap makers are in the family. There's soap everywhere. Like, that's good because like soap. I look over at like the shelf where the soap is. When I tell you 1,000 ants are attacking this one bar of soap, but none of the other soap. And I know like whatever ingredients, yeah. But I have not seen end of the world signs, right, in a long time. Mostly because like I don't really leave my house a lot, other than like if I have a job, if I'm going to work. I want to say bless you, but like I wasn't supposed to be listening to people sneezing in the other room. That's kind of weird. I think I'm weird, but I lost my train of thought. But yeah, so I haven't seen like end of the world signs in a long time. Okay, I haven't seen end of the world signs. I'm always recording songs. I've been at my altar like last night. You know what I mean? So I don't see like, if I'm not out in the world, how am I going to see end of the world signs? I'm not a billionaire. When you're like a billionaire or a millionaire or whatever, or if you're like in the Matrix or whatever, I don't know, in some capacity, end of the world signs can like come to you and chase you, or you'll just be like, wow, I feel haunted by the concept of like maybe the world's ending, but I don't know what to do about it, right? People have that frame of mind where they're like, I don't know why, but I kind of feel like the world's ending, but like maybe it's just Spirit Airlines is like not here anymore, like who knows, right? Anyway, I actually slowly stopped believing in, not fully, but like the concept of the end of the world. I started to, well, I'm already at my altar, and I'm so resilient to like end of the world signs, right? Like I started to like, I'll hear that song by Halsey, I forget what it's called, where she talks about like the end of the world, like on her newer album, and I'll be like, okay, yeah, like my spirits at my altar are communicating with me about the concept of the end of the world, right? I'll be thinking about that, the concept of the end of the world. Like, I'm like, okay, but I started to feel like maybe in our younger years, we're supposed to take life so seriously that we live life as if the world could be ending at some point in our lifetime, so that we do everything that we need to do in time, right? In time. Before the hypothetical end of the world, or like, you know what I mean, if you're in your 20s, it's like do everything you care about before you hit your 30s. I'm 24, so that's kind of like scary to think about. Like, do everything you care about before you hit your 30s, so that you look back on it and you're like, okay, I did all of my things that I cared so much about. Kind of how I ended up with like, I'm working on like 40 albums or something and like a few books. So that's relevant information. I sort of have this part of me where I like tune out the concept of the end of the world mentally, because I'm like, okay, like I don't want to be stressed because I'm working on all of these songs and albums and books, and my songs and albums and books, I already have a few songs about the end of the world. Not every song gets to be about the end of the world, right? I don't have like, my creative worlds are really not literally about the end of the world. I have more like figurative, like it's really not, I'm not alluding to the end of the world in them because I have songs about that. So my songs are about like zebras on an island and there's like a moose there or something, you know what I mean? Like weird stuff. Like I have other ones that like I just haven't done yet. That's actually not a real song though. The moose one never came out, so it was never a concept. It was never going to be, but like maybe someday, I don't know. I don't really care about a moose that much, but like you get it. There's songs about zebras, there's songs about volcanoes, there's songs about islands. Okay, those things happened. The moose one hasn't happened. I don't know. There's no like, you know, I don't know. We'll see. Fingers crossed if you care about a moose a lot. I don't know. But if I'm ever relevant at all, you guys are going to be asking about the moose. I don't know. But I want to talk about how, again, because I've decided in my own mind, I was like, okay, yeah, so like prioritize doing every important thing before you hit your 30s, or you know what I mean, or before you hit the next 8 years, the next 5 years, the next 7 years, whatever it is, right? The next 4 years, like the next 2 years, like what have you done in that time? Like, do you prioritize the things that matter to you and like the projects you care about doing? And like, if you wanted a degree, like, did you get that degree? Or like, if you wanted like to put out an album, did you do it? Like, you wanted to reach this achievement, like, did you get it? I don't know. I mean, I think it's funny. Some people will be like, did you clean your room? I'm like, no. Well, actually, there's not like garbage in my room. There was a little bit before, but like, I had my collection of to-go cups, and I was like, okay, I ordered enough DoorDash that I'm not surrounded by DoorDash, but like, there's like a plastic bag over here, not food in it, but like, you know what I mean? There's like an empty to-go cup over here, like empty coffee cup. What am I doing? I'm being so serious, so there's not like food trash, because like, I would never. Actually. I'm always honest about some stuff. Not everything, but whatever. I talk a lot. So, anyway, I'm in the shower. This is like 5 seconds in after I shampooed my hair, and it's short, so like 1 second, you know. I look over. I'm standing facing that way, but you're gonna be like, how is that relevant? Okay, facing that way behind me. Over there. Okay, because that's where the shower is. All the way over there. I'm facing that way. I'm like, if this is relevant at all, okay. Then I turn, because I'm totally facing that way behind me. Okay. I turn to my right, where there's the window, to like the outside of the house. Okay, on the shelf, there's the bar of soap. That one bar of soap, when I tell you, again, like 1,000 ants, like a tornado of ants. If you know what, if you look at like a piece of like licorice, like the red spiral licorice or whatever kind you like, I don't know the other ones. I think there's like black licorice, if I could talk. I think there's black licorice and red licorice and why is my pronunciation different of this? I don't know, because theoretically they're the same thing. So one I can pronounce, the other one I don't know how. But I just don't eat licorice, but like I know what a Twizzler. Why are you eating a pencil eraser when you could have jumped off a bridge instead? I don't know. No offense. That's terrible advice. I don't mean it. I don't mean that as advice, but like, you get the concept. You get the concept. So are they listening to Mickey Mouse or like HGTV? I can't tell. It's fine. Oh, glass blowing. Anyway. Okay. So I look over at the bars of soap. Okay. Again, tornado of ants. It's spiraling in the shape of like licorice, right? Because as all the ants are running, all I did was look at the bar of soap for this to like initiate, right? I mean, I guess I turned on the water in the shower or whatever. Maybe that's part of the trigger of it. But I've never seen this many ants attack a bar of soap before. The bars of soap have been there forever. There's never been ants on it. The bar of soap's barely eaten, but it's been there for a long time. But the ants are eating it. Just the 1,000 ants running up like behind everything, and I was like, oh my god. And I was totally just like subconscious for this like moment, and it was so weird to me. So I didn't catch on to like what was going on. I was just watching it. I was just like, calm, like watching it, like not thinking a single thing. I wasn't like, oh my god, like that's scary, that's weird. And some people will be like, what? It's so weird. Ants are always a sign of like starvation to me, like a symbol of it. I don't want to channel like, oh, like starvation, they're eating soap. I don't know. Eating soap. Something about like wisdom, but yeah. So, eating soap. I was trying not to make it about prison, but that's the second prison reference in my mind in a row. And you know how they're like, oh, don't drop the soap, whatever. Like, but I was trying to not make it about that because it's like so sexually like predatory. I was trying not to make it about that, but I was like, what? So I was trying to avoid that reference, but then I was thinking of like cuss words and like the bar of soap in their mouth and like movies and stuff. I never did that, but like, you know what I mean? I was thinking about that also. So, anyway. Oh, that's not the only thing that happened. So, all of the ants disappear, run away, every single one of them. And that part actually scared me a little tiny bit. How fast? Within 3 seconds, I watched all of the 1,000 or more than 1,000 ants disappear, vanish. Gone. Gone, gone, gone. They didn't touch the other bars of soap, only the one, but it didn't even look eaten. And it was fully real. I'm not kidding. So, you don't have to believe me, but like it was like real, like real. So, that I know. Anyway, of course, because there's certain, that was a weird me talking to myself sounding moment, whatever. So I look over and there's, you know how you don't know there's spiders in my shower. I was gonna say, you know how there's like some spiders in my shower. There's like a couple of spiders in my shower that are like alive. Kind of weird, but like there are. So I'm not gonna touch them. They're doing their spider duties. It's not that I don't care. I find them scary, but I'm not gonna touch them. It's a spider. I don't know. But I feel like I feel something like touch my leg, so I get scared because I've never like felt that. Well, not that I've never felt anything touch my leg. So I like check that there's like nothing on my leg and there's not. And I'm like, so how did I feel that? Because it's not just water. It was like something like painful. Like I felt like if you had like a pencil and you like stabbed it in someone's leg, it was kind of like that. Like it felt like that. And I was like, oh my God, like I looked, there's nothing. And I'm like, I've never felt that before. Okay. But I was like, okay, that wasn't that good. And then so I stand up because I kind of like sat down to like, not really sat down on the ground, but like, I don't know. I was like leaning over to like see if there's something on my leg, but there's not. I was like, well, I'm in a room with like some living spiders, like, oh no. Oh no. You know what I mean? So I stand up and I almost feel like I see like the tail of an invisible fox in my shower, like circling around me really fast, but it scares me because it doesn't feel like a positive energy. It feels like a really negative energy, like a really scary energy. Really, really scary. But it like telepathically like zoom into my brain. It says I need to talk to Mayhai Dragon, whose concept of Jinn on TikTok, and I was thinking about it immediately and I was like, well, the only method of communication I had with him was my Instagram account, but because I don't have money, so I can't pay for like a session or anything. And I used to be like on his Patreon that I was paying for and stuff. And so I wish I could. I just, for right now, because I have like $0, can't do that. So I was thinking of that. And so because I'm like obviously like I would love to like book a session and like talk about that because that was such an extreme moment to have all of that lined up, but like my Instagram account was the only method where I could just kind of hit him up without having money, which I don't mean that in like a weird way. Like I would love to have like infinite money and just give it to him because he's the most amazing person ever. And I truly mean that from like my whole entire heart. So yeah, but then it got me thinking, so the message, normally like say like if you're doing a tarot reading, it's a collective or like for yourself, if it doesn't resonate but you're like recording it, it's like, oh, this message is like for somebody else, so it clicks for me. The message, and this is not sponsored at all, but the message was for somebody else, that it's very important. So if you guys do need like a spiritual reading, if you have any kind of situation like what I was describing and you do not know how to deal with it yourself, or you need advice, or you need to talk about like if it feels like the world's ending, if you feel like for any kind of reason, but also he offers so many kinds of sessions on every spiritual topic, every magical topic you can ever imagine. For example, there are different types of souls, and one reading I got a long time ago was actually about the type of soul that I have, and so he can do a kind of like a reading on that, like, is your soul a Buddha, a dragon, an angel? There's some other ones or something, but I don't, or there's maybe like an alien one, I don't know. I do not know, but he can do phenomenal readings on that. And so anyway, I just wanted to talk about that. And also he could talk to you guys about like if you ever feel like the world's ending, if you ever don't know what to do if the world ends, if you ever need like any kind of spiritual advice in any way, shape, or form. He can help you to know what deities to work with, which ones are real and which ones are not real. He can point you in the direction of literally any spiritual thing that's like, I feel like every spiritual thing that's out there, you know what I mean? He's so much more than a living encyclopedia of magic, but that is definitely a part of his skill set. So I just wanted to talk about that and bring that up. And so because I don't have an Instagram account and I also don't have money, I realized, oh, the message is for the people who will see my video if I put it out there. So carry the message along and make sure that whoever does need it is able to find the message. And so, yeah, essentially not sponsored at all. All of that was true. And yeah, I wanted to talk about it because that was so extreme. But for it to sort of like immediately like transmit the thought into my mind, telepathy, that I was not initiating was so extreme. And so I wanted to talk about that. And so his TikTok is Concept of Jinn. If you guys want to look him up, make sure you look up the spelling of Jinn, but he's the only like big account with that name. So I think he has like 100,000 followers or something. So what I'm trying to say is that you guys will be able to differentiate and not talk to like the wrong person who has a fake account or something, because technically there's a lot of scammers on the planet. And so I wanted to make sure you guys don't get like scammed, you know what I mean? But I wanted to bring that up because for that moment in the shower to literally telepathically name drop and tell me exactly who needs to be reached out to. Again, if you guys have any spiritual insecurities, or you don't know if something is real or not, or if you don't know literally anything, like, then I want to encourage you guys to reach out and carry the message along. I think Jinn, I think it's like DJIN or DJINN or something like that, right? I think the word Jinn has a lot of spellings, but if you look it up, he'll be the one with like 100,000 followers and stuff. So then you guys can either book directly on there if you're the person the message is for, which is probably all of you, at least check out like what kinds of sessions he offers and stuff, so that you guys can determine whether or not the message is personally for you. I just want to encourage that. And well, he has a Patreon and an Instagram, but yeah, just, you know, make sure, you know, bring your offering. Essentially, like the Patreon, I don't know how much it costs, but that's a really great resource with so many amazing, you know, so much amazing content in a magical form and in a spiritual form to better inform you guys on concepts like, is the world ending, and like what would that look like, and like what are the odds of it happening, and like how can you better protect yourself if it does happen, but also all forms of magic and all forms of teaching magic. Anyway, I don't know what current videos are on there, but what I do know is that those types of topics are things that you can talk about. Anyway, I'm just gonna let that be, but I love you guys. Mwah. Goodbye.